Hey you guys, what is up? The King of Lightning is here today to do Magi Episode 1 review, or if you want to give it the full title, Magi, the Labyrinth of Magic Episode 1 review. Now the thing here, alright, and before I get started with the actual, as to the reason why I'm going to be reviewing Magi from now on, because I am, when it comes to the seasonal anime, I'm only going to be reviewing Batum, K, and Magi. I am not going to be reviewing Zetsu no Tempest, whatever it's called. No, I saw it. It looked good, but I'm not going to review it. I'm not going to review Codebreaker because I can see a lot of dick writing. And JoJo, there's too much dick writing already. It's only one episode, and there's too much dick writing already. So I'm gonna, I want to hop off, right? Yeah, I'm gonna hop off before I hop on, all right? So I'm long gone. So the only three anime I'm going to be reviewing for this season are, again, K, Batum, and Magi, and that's it. So if you're gonna cry, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. All right, Magi, K, Batum. That being said, Magi, the Labyrinth of Magic. I like it. I do. Because, the thing here is that a lot of people, before this anime came out, a lot of people have been wanting me to read the manga, to check out the manga. Because, in their opinion, the manga is pretty damn good. And I wanted to, but the thing here is that not only am I busy with, actual life and shit, but also, my manga schedule is already filled with, Rave Master and Shaman King, all this other shit. So, I couldn't really fit Magi into that actual, schedule of manga that I have to read as of right now. Because there's too much shit. So, when I found out that the anime was coming out, I said, you know what? Let me check out the anime. Let me see if it's actually good, the first episode, and then I may review Magi from now on when it comes to the anime. And I checked out the first episode of Magi, and I really fucking liked it. I really did. Because I have never seen this in manga. I've read a shit ton of manga. I've watched a shit ton of anime, and I have never seen a series take the Indian route and use Indian mythology, like genies. Use the characters Aladdin and Alibaba and shit. That to me was a very unique route when it comes to anime and manga. It really was, because I've never, ever read a series that took the Indian route. I never have. And I like that, because it adds diversity, and I appreciate diversity, especially when it comes to world building. The way the world of Magi is structured, I can see a lot of diversity in the world itself, such as the genies. And also in this episode, we see a giant, weird, man-eating plant flower type thing underground. And then we have these giant-ass dungeons, that are really fucking tall and shit. So I can see the diversity in the actual series. And also when it came to the opening. And by the way, the opening, oh, that's a good opening. That opening is addicted. Why? Because it's Sid. That's why. It's fucking Sid. My goodness, these guys kick ass. These guys do fucking Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood opening, for Christ's sakes. Yeah. These guys are good. So, but the thing here is that when it comes to the opening, I noticed how in one of the scenes, we actually see, a dragon-type dude. I'm like, what the fuck? So, I like that. I fucking like that. I like the diversity of the world of Magi. And that, to me, is a huge plus. When you can expand your world building, where you can add certain elements and certain characters into the world and they won't be weird or awkward, that to me is good. I mean, I like it in Hunter x Hunter, in One Piece, and Toriko, and Magi appears to be the same foundation, only more Indian-esque, and that to me is very cool. Very cool shit. The next thing, the main characters, alright? Alibaba, I like him off the gate, I really do. Because I am very familiar with that character, Alibaba, in other series. But when it comes to Aladdin, the main character, at first, I didn't like him because his voice actor is like I swear to God, like straight up female. Like that to me is not a huge deal most of the time, but sometimes it's kind of like really irksome. Like for example, in the English dub, Black Star from Soul Eater. Oh, I mean, just what the fuck? I mean, that was bad. That was really fucking bad. But I did over the course of the episode, I did get used to Aladdin's voice, and Aladdin is actually a pretty funny character. He really is. He's actually a pretty funny character. Like like he's doing like funny shit, like eating fruits and shit, being mad stupid, being like like being mad dumb and shit. Like thanks for the food. Oh, like why do you have like? But you're a guy. Why do you have boobs and shit? Like what's going on? I'm like it's really funny. It's really funny. But the thing here, what caught me off guard, that caught my attention with Aladdin, was that when that little girl and that one chick got eaten by the flower plant, he didn't do shit. And I was like, because I figured that Aladdin was the hero type character, the hero type main character. That's what I figured. And he may be. However, him not doing shit to save those two girls that were eaten by the flower plant until Alibaba went in there, that to me caught me off guard. Because I was like, whoa, maybe this little kid is hardcore. I mean, I don't know. But he didn't do shit. So I like that. So there is, I can see a lot of potential in the character Aladdin. I really can. I really can. So I respect that. And overall, the pacing was good. The animation was good. Really good. And that's it. So, but those are the reasons as to why because I see a lot of potential in the series. I really do. Like a lot of potential in the show Magi. So I will be reviewing Magi from now on. Alright? And once again, those three, K, Batum, and Magi. So when it comes to the summary of this episode, because I'm not going to make it too long, because, you know, again, because if I do a long summary, it's going to wind up being like over 20 minutes for this total video time. So let me keep it under 20 minutes, alright? So when it comes to the summary, right, basically it starts off, and we start off with Aladdin. And he's in some, like, room, some dungeon area, which lets me know that Aladdin, prior to meeting Alibaba, was in a dungeon before, which kind of was like, it throws you off, because during the course of the anime, Aladdin asks Alibaba, like, what's a dungeon? But at the beginning of the episode, we see him in a dungeon. So it's kind of like, what's going on there? But basically, he's in a dungeon. He's talking to a giant-ass person, which is like a genie or a djinn. And then, apparently, he's trapped in that dungeon. He can't escape. And then the djinn's like, okay, fine, but you found me, and I'll grant you one wish. And then he's like, oh, you'll grant me a wish. And then he states that wish. We don't hear it. And then the episode cuts in the actual opening. And then we see the opening of the actual episode. Again, pretty damn good shit. Sid, I can't say the fucking lyrics. I'm not Japanese, so fuck you. That shit was hot. That shit was hot. That shit was fire. But the thing here is that I noticed that during the opening, I noticed how the chick with like the pigtails. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, the chick with the pigtails and like the pink hair. Is she part of the main group? I think she is. Like, I think it's him. Like him being Aladdin, Alibaba, and her. Like the trio. Maybe it looks that way, but I'm not too sure. Because at the end of this episode, Aladdin and Alibaba leave, and the chick doesn't go with them. So again, it threw me off. And also, I noticed how in the opening, there was one guy who looked just like Aladdin, only he was taller, more mature, and he had black hair. And Aladdin used like these white butterfly or like weird bird type things for his magic, and this guy had black ones. So maybe there's a relation between these two, like the one with the black hair and the black bird butterfly type thing, and Aladdin with the blue hair and the white butterfly type things. Maybe, I'm not too sure. But what happens here is that after that point, we cut to we cut to this place, this place, all right. Surrounding this giant ass fucking tower. And what happens here is that we get introduced to the character Alibaba. And Alibaba is doing some shit for this guy, this wine seller. His name is like Bulden, whatever, just B, alright? I'm gonna call him wine seller. Fuck it, wine seller, right? Wine seller dude. And what happens here is that he goes to like one of the crates, or he goes to one of the carriages, and he opens the carriage thing, the carriage curtain, and he sees this little kid eating watermelon in the fucking carriage. Of course, he throws him out and shit. But then what happens here is that the kid, he doesn't throw him out. The wine seller dude comes in there. He's like, "Is everything ready?" I was like, "Yeah, everything's ready and shit." Well, let me see. He's like, "No, that's cool. No, let me see, man." Throws him out the fucking way. And there he is, Aladdin, eating mad fucking fruit and shit, being mad dorky, being mad stupid. And then what happens is that the guy gets pissed off. He starts badgering Alibaba. And then the kid comes in there, Aladdin, and he starts fondling this guy's fucking tits. And he's like, "What do you have tits? You're a guy." And of course that escalates and shit. And what winds up happening is that Alibaba gets scolded, and he has to work for no pay now. And what happens here is that the kid winds up following Alibaba to his house and shit. And then that's when they have a conversation about, you know, the towers. And apparently the towers, these giant-ass towers, are called dungeons. And they randomly came up 14 years ago. They were in the bottom of the ground, and all of a sudden they just start coming up and shit. So something at that point in time, 14 years ago, activated these big-ass labyrinths. I mean, these dungeons. At some point, we don't know what the hell it is just yet. I mean, if you guys read the manga, then you may know, maybe. But I'm an anime guy, so don't fucking spoil it. Yo, do not spoil the fucking series. I swear to God, if you do. Yo, if you do. Okay, now, what happens here is that at this point in time, they fall asleep and shit. And then, before Aladdin goes to sleep, he says, "Goodnight, Ugo." And at this point in time, we have no idea who the fuck Ugo is. Now, at this point in time, they go to sleep, and then they wake up the following morning. And what happens here is that they go to the market, and as they go to the market, Alibaba is explaining to Aladdin his ambitions. And his ambitions are basically getting a lot of money so you can own your own country, and so you don't take shit from anybody. And then as Alibaba and Aladdin are exchanging thoughts about the whole entire money and getting all the women, getting all the females, what happens here is that they bump into a female. And this woman winds up being a slave. And the thing here is that I kind of noticed how, like, when you see, and she, again, according to the opening, she may be a part of this whole entire trio. Like, her, Aladdin, and Alibaba. And also, she is more, like, when I'm looking at the intro, Aladdin and Alibaba seem to use magic in some various forms. Like, Aladdin now, Alibaba will probably gain it after going to this dungeon. And the thing, and by the way, the dungeon is called Amon, or Amon. Yeah, Amon. And the thing here is that she, the female, the slave, appears to be more hand-to-hand combat based, you know, which for me is a plus because I love hand-to-hand combat. I really do. Now, like, what happens here is that Alibaba explains to Aladdin that she is a slave, and what happens here is that Aladdin has a flute. He blows on the flute next to her chains snap. Everyone sees this shit go down, and what happens here is that, you know, they need to fucking run because you can't free a slave because it's against the law. But Alibaba is very curious as to how he fucking did that. What happens is that Mr. Wine Seller over here walks in there. He's like, "You can't do that. You're gonna lose a fucking arm and shit." You know, starts kicking the slave and shit. And what happens here is that Aladdin says, "Don't do that." And then the wine seller guy and his fucking minions, his little grunts are like, like, "Don't fuck with us and shit." What happens is that Aladdin blows on the flute, and then all of a sudden these giant ass blue hands come out of nowhere. Wait, no, they come out of the flute, and then they start smacking dudes around and shit, and then collapse, shockwave. Everyone's like, "What the fuck was that?" And then the guy falls over, fainted. Everyone's shocked. Alibaba and Aladdin, they bail and shit. And then once they're in a safe location, Aladdin tells Alibaba that was his friend Ugo, who is a jinn or genie. So that there is, you know, pretty cool. And apparently he appears to be the same genie that he met in the first scene of the actual episode. So, you know, we now know, this is confirmed, this confirmation here, that this kid Aladdin actually went to a dungeon at some point in time. Now, why he doesn't remember that he went to a dungeon, I don't know. Memory loss, I'm not too sure. But we'll see later on. And what happened here is that Alibaba sees that he has power, because the jinn is power. So he convinces, well, because Aladdin was going to go anyway, but he convinces Aladdin to go with him to the dungeon, Aman, so they can get money and shit. And this is like a really funny scene, because they're at a brothel and shit, and they're chilling. Aladdin is all of this girl's tits and shit. Like, he's just finding tits and shit all around. Alibaba is like, you know, like, yeah, like, let me celebrate too. And then some girl comes in there, and her name's Elizabeth. And I was like, ew, like, this is a nasty bitch. Like, yo, she was nasty. She was nasty to the max. And the way she, quote unquote, opened the fucking wine jar, she just sliced that shit in two. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, yo, that was a nasty bitch. That was a nasty bitch. Now, what happens here is that they leave the brothel, and as they leave the brothel, they get caught by the wine selling guy. The wine selling guy tells them, "You gotta go work for me, otherwise I'll make you a wanted person throughout all the lands and shit." Alibaba gets suckered in, and then he winds up once again working for the wine seller guy, because the wine seller guy was given a mission by the lord of the area to go and deliver all these wines to other countries and shit, or to other cities. And what happens here is that they go on this mission, and apparently the girl who was freed by Aladdin, she gets recaptured on some shit. And then what happens is that basically Alibaba and Aladdin are going with the wine selling guy with his wine, like with his crates of wine and the slaves. And as they're walking and as they're traveling to the other location, they get cut off by this weird giant flower underground plant type thing, which winds up almost killing the two slaves, this little girl and that same chick who tried to save the little girl, but she gets consumed by the flower, or almost consumed by the flower. What happens here is that, because it was really fucked up, because Alibaba was reaching out towards her, and she was reaching out towards him, but the freaking wine seller guy cut him off and shit. It's like, oh, my wine! Grabs the barrel of wine, bumps into Alibaba, and so he can't rescue her in time. And what happens here is that the wine seller guy wants to leave them for dead. Alibaba punches him in the face, like, no, we're not leaving them, because at this point in time, he finally realizes that a human life is not worth a few barrels of wine. So what happens here is that he goes in there with a barrel of wine, because apparently this flower likes the taste of the wine, so he throws a bottle of wine inside the flower. The flower gets like hazy and shit. The petals open. Well, actually, no, correction. What happens here is that Aladdin summons the full genie. Like, the full genie comes out and shit, opens the petals and shit. And the thing here I noticed is that the genie, even though it has a head, the head is still stuck inside the flute for some weird reason. I don't know why. I mean, maybe that's to contain the genie's powers. Maybe, I'm not too sure. But what happens here is that the genie opens the flower petals, and then Alibaba saves the girl, but gets trapped there himself and shit. But then Aladdin frees him by taking all the barrels of wine and dumping all the barrels of wine inside the flower. And then thus, Alibaba and Aladdin are safe and shit. And then the guy's like, you know, what the fuck, man? What the fuck? I'm gonna go kill you guys. That was all that money and shit. The genie's like, smack. Yeah, get the fuck out of here. And Alibaba and Aladdin, they run back towards that main area where the giant tower Amon is. And then they are now gonna go to that dungeon, back where they were in that original city, and try and complete the dungeon, which is Aman. And that there is the end episode. So overall, once again, episode, in my opinion, I liked it a lot. I thought it was good. And this series, in my opinion, has a lot of potential, which is why from now on, I'm going to be reviewing episodes of Magi, the Labyrinth of Magic, starting today. So that being said, King Lightning, be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe as always. And I'm signing out. Peace. Have a nice day. And by the way, look in the description for the link to the actual episode of Magi. Signing out.